Hey, hi, how are you? My name is Felt, and welcome back to Destiny 2. And today I'm going to be talking about a solar build that I've kind of rotated myself on back to after doing a lot of experimenting with Strand. It is a Caliban's hand, just blow up the world style throwing knife build. I've been enjoying it a lot. It's felt really powerful to me and done a great job even in high-end content. I'm going to include some gameplay at the end of this video of me using it in the legendary version of the exotic mission for the season, so you can see that it does hold up to legendary level content. Let's hop right into what I use. Start with the basics of the subclass here. I'm using Blade Barrage because I think Blade Barrage is probably one of the best hunter supers at the moment. Gambler's Dodge because just in case. Triple Jump because Triple Jump is better. Proximity Explosive Knife because it synergizes with Caliban's. And Firebolt's Grenades to apply more Scorch stacks and explode more things. Aspect-wise, I'm using Knock 'em Down for the ability to fully refund my throwing knife when I get kills with it while I am radiant, and On Your Mark for both the faster reload ready and all that, as well as just giving me more fragment slots. Fragment-wise, we are running Emperor of Mercy, mostly because picking up a fire spike grants restoration, and that is invaluable. The 10 resilience is also pretty strong. We have defeating scorched targets grants melee energy and creates a fire sprite. The melee energy, kind of unnecessary. Defeating scorched targets creates a fire sprite, very necessary. It's our main way of creating fire sprites in general, scorching stuff via our throwing knives and firebolt grenades, and then just making fire sprites off of that. We also have Ember of Torches. Powered melee attacks make me radiant. It is the way that we synergize very well with Knock 'em Down, otherwise we wouldn't be getting our knife back quite so quickly. We do have Ember of Solace. Ember of Solace could be replaced. Radiant Restoration effects have increased duration. It's nice for a little bit of extra survivability and a little bit of extra radiant duration, but it is kind of unnecessary. You could maybe swap it out for Ember of Wonder because we are making lots of ignitions, or Ember of Ashes because you want to apply more Scorch stacks, especially if you're using these seasonal artifact mods to make your firebolts better. I don't use them in this build to show off that the build doesn't need them, but the build would be even better if you're using that, so you probably wouldn't want to swap out Ember of Solace for Ember of Ashes in that instance. Ember of Eruption, making our solar ignitions have increased area of effect. It just makes it so that this build blows up the world. It makes it so that your ignitions are enormous. They do just really solid damage because ignitions do solid damage anyways, but the increased radius means that you just blow up the world. You'll see it a lot in the gameplay. I'll ignite one enemy and then I'll wipe out a small pack as a result of it. It's generally pretty strong. If you don't feel like it's necessary, if you feel like your ignitions are doing good enough explosions, you could probably swap it out for one of those aforementioned things that I talked about earlier. Either Ember of Wonder to make your solar ignitions make orbs, or Ember of Ashes to apply more Scorch stacks to targets. Let's look at my armor mods that I use for this build. Let's start by talking about my overall stat distribution. I run maxed resilience, and then after that I focus on mobility, getting mobility as high as possible. At the moment I can only hit 94 mobility because I haven't optimized my armor for this build yet, but I could probably get up to 100 if I tried. The reason I run such high mobility is even though I get my throwing knife back, I still like dodging for the increased handling and reload speed of Knock 'em Down. It's just very nice. After that, I focus on intellect, getting intellect as high as possible so I can just spam more supers. After that, it is discipline, and then after that, recovery, and then strength is kind of useless because you get your throwing knives back constantly either via dodging or just the refund via your aspect. As for mods on the helmet, we run resilience mod, and then we run hands-on because more super energy, good. And then we run solar siphon to make it so that we make more orbs when you're getting kills with our weapons instead of our abilities. Gloves, we run heavy-handed to make orbs off of our powered melee final blows. It's very nice. Then I run bolstering detonation to give me more class ability when I cause damage with a grenade, and focusing strike to give me more class ability when I cause damage with a melee. It is generally just nice to get my class ability back faster, just in case I need it. Chest piece, I am just running general catch-all resistance mods at the moment. You can replace these with whatever you like. You can run reserves mods if you like. Just run what you want on your chest piece, honestly. Boots, I am running double solar weapon surge to get more bonus damage out of my weapons, as well as a recuperation mod so that I can heal even more. Class item, I am running Reaper, so that when I dodge, I will spawn an orb, and then I am also running time dilation. We do have 2 points empty here. We could throw an outreach, but that seems completely unnecessary, right? But I guess if you're not near enemies and you accidentally dodge, then you get a little bit back. You could put bomber on here if you so choose. You could put maybe proximity ward on here. You could potentially just go into one of these finishers that gives you bonuses. We currently only have 2 open energy here, though. And for a lot of people, you might not even have that energy because you might not be able to run a minor resilience mod. You might have to run a major resilience mod or something like that. But this slot is open on the armor, but I just don't have anything to put in that slot at the moment. The big thing, though, I run Reaper so that when I dodge, I do make orbs on kills for my teammates as well as myself, and then time dilation to make my solar weapon surge last as long as possible. Let's talk about weapons. I actually really recommend running the new exotic raid shotgun as your primary slot weapon. I know not everyone's going to have this, but I love it a lot. I think it's incredibly powerful. The ability to just freeze stuff and then ignite stuff immediately afterwards is kind of S tier in my mind, as long as you are running a pretty aggro and in the enemy's face build. So, up to you. You could probably replace this with an Iznagi's Burden, an Arbalest, or a Wither Horde if you so choose, but I just really like this shotgun. It's really good. Something that I find to be non-negotiable is using a solar SMG in your energy slot, and I highly recommend just running an incandescent Mida mini tool. This threat detector can be replaced with like unrelenting if you so choose, but that's up to you. Heavy weapon's pretty flexible. If you're just trying to get as much ad clear as possible, using say the Trials machine gun with incandescent, absolutely S tier, really good. If you have say the craftable machine gun from the Duality dungeon, that's also very powerful. You could probably slap a linear fusion in the slot if you're going into DPS for like a dungeon or a raid boss with this build on. The heavy slot's pretty flexible though. I do highly recommend you have a Mida mini tool with incandescent in this metal slot though. It is incredibly powerful and potent for this build. And that's the video. If future me is any good at editing, like I know they are, this is actually going to be post-production dialogue playing over some gameplay in the background, which will be showing off the build like I talked about at the beginning of the video. There will be a dim link down in the description below that shows off the build so that you can just rep it yourself if you would rather just do that. Either way, I hope you did listen through the video because I did talk about some alternate choices that won't be in the dim build. But regardless of all that, thanks for hanging out and watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like content like this on the channel, and I hope to catch you in the next one.